What is the worst insult you've suffered from someone who didn't even mean it as an insult? Was moving on from a job and on my second last day my manager says take tomorrow off, no one will miss you. He later informed me that he had meant that I should finish a day early and that no one would mind. I, 35M, was getting dressed one morning and my daughter came in before I had my shirt on. She's like 4 at the time and says, "Oh, you have boobs like mommy." There was no recovering from that. Edit. Added my gender, sex, whatever the right word is, as there seems to have been some confusion. I started getting asked if I qualified for a senior discount in my 40s. My boss pointing at me said to others he may be fat but he is most hard-working person here. A nicer way to say this would be he is worth his weight in gold. When studying martial arts I had an instructor try to teach me why a particular feint never worked for me. In order for that feint to work, your opponent must first respect your ability to complete the strike. Everyone here knows your abilities, so they don't fall for it. It was factually and technically accurate, and I understand what he was telling me. But, after thinking about it for not very long, I realized what sick burn it was. My best friend told me that I am only funny when I'm drunk. I was a recovering alcoholic and man did that hurt. You aren't even that ugly. I recently got a very bright, very obnoxious Pac-Man hoodie. It is without a doubt the loudest thing I own. As I was heading out the door for work, my 3-year-old told me, "Remember Dad. If people laugh at you, you can always take your sweatshirt off." The best part is he was genuinely just trying to give me some supportive advice. He just accidentally gave me the best burn I've received in years. Edit. The sweatshirt link. Kids are the best for this. "Daddy, why don't you use your weights anymore? Is it because you got fat?" I was getting asked out by someone who said, "I know other men don't find you attractive, but..." I politely declined. My kid told me they wanted to be ordinary like me when they grew up. When I was 25 I had bought a house in a suburb of a major city. One of my neighbors was elderly and came over to welcome me to the neighborhood. She asked if my wife lived with me and I just stated I lived alone. She goes, "Oh yeah, the person that lived here before was a lonely guy too. Fucking ouch, Elizabeth." Getting on an adult ride at the fair. Operator says to me, "Ma'am, you can't ride this if you are pregnant." I was not pregnant. My dad was a smoker most of his life. When I was around 4, I didn't want to imagine my dad as an old man, so I told him, "Keep smoking so you can die young." I'm a quiet man and I was an even quieter kid. I got invited over to some kid's house to play. Another kid there said that they only invited me over because they felt bad for me. He said it with no malice, in passing. I'm 33 now and it still stings. A good friend's girlfriend told me, "I love how not girly you are and how you don't care about how you look." I think she genuinely meant it as a compliment, but both of those things were news to me. One time a girl I really disliked. We never had a fight or anything like that. I just really found her to be annoying and dumb. Said we were similar in personality. In middle school the girl I had a crush on said I looked like a falcon. Never quite figured out how to take that one. Strong aquiline jaw, sharp eyes, and giant fucking talons for feet. After being accused of dyeing my hair. A friend said I clearly don't dye my hair as nobody would choose shit-colored hair. I said thank you loudly, then after a beat said wait, what? I was sitting with my friends in class and I see a guy from the corner of my eye having a discussion with his friend about what kind nerds we are and I overheard him say, "You don't have to worry about those ones. They're not the Columbine freaks, they're just harmless weirdos." Gee, thanks. After a particularly satisfying love-making session, my wife turned to me and went to say, "You never fail to please." What she actually said was, "You never fail to disappoint." No, I never let her forget that one. My ex, looking at my naked body post-sex in the most genuine tone. "You know what you have the perfect boobs for? Surgery." I went to high school in the 90s with a girl who went on to become Miss USA. We were friends, there was no romance. 25 years later her mother comes to my office, she didn't know I own the company, to drop off something we'd ordered. I was pleasantly surprised to see her and we spent a few minutes catching up. Keep in my mind, my entire staff is watching the conversation between me and this girl's mother. Finally she says, "My daughter thought the world of you. Why didn't you two ever date?" I decided to try a little false modesty and responded I wanted to date her, but she always liked handsome guys. Without batting an eye, she responded, "Oh yeah, that's right." Total devastation. I don't think she even realized what she'd said. My staff did however, and they had the most fun with it. The rest of the day still comes up occasionally. "Come work for me, son. I'll pay you more than you're worth." Proceeds to pay $36,000 per year. I was doing the finishing touches on my makeup when Mom told us we needed to get going. I turned to my brother and asked him, "Do my brows look okay?" I was of course talking about if the color was even, since we were on our way out and I wanted to know I looked presentable. My brother has autism, so he interpreted my question as a general query of his opinion on my eyebrows. So he went on a 2 or 3 minute roast, telling me everything wrong with my brows. I finally managed to say, I meant the color. Is the color even?" To which he responded, "Yeah," and walked out the door. Internally he's like, "Finally she asked. I've been holding on to this for years." My brother is on the spectrum and I work with students with disabilities. No one can roast you like someone with autism, just being honest. Those kids truly let me know what they think of me, haha. That momentary internal panic of, what question is this person actually asking me, oh fuck, followed by, okay I'm gonna answer every possible interpretation of that question so they don't think I'm stupid. My students have taught me that context is often unstated, but necessary for clarity and kindness. For example, I state subtext aloud now. I'm asking how I look in this dress to get comfort, so please give me a compliment. I also often state why I'm asking a question. Are you hungry? I'm asking because I am hungry and deciding whether we should stop to eat or if I should just have a snack. I live in Asia and I'm about 250 lb 6 ft tall, could stand to lose about 30 I guess maybe more. And I went to McDonald's just to get hot coffee and the woman behind the counter asked if I wanted cream or sugar and I said no thank you. And then she said, oh because you're fat? Sounds like Asia. Had diarrhea, was at a pharmacy in Japan and rubbed my belly like it's in pain and he says in English you fat FML. Some uniqueness in a person is good, but you have too much. Said by the first woman I ever loved. Spoiler. Long roundabout way, I won that argument. Haven't gotten any less strange, but she is now my wife. You look like you own ferrets. I don't even know what that means, but it was 4 years ago Haley and I still remember. One time after a girl dumped me in high school, one of my close friends said, "You're the kind of guy a girl wants to meet in her 30s. Not now when they want to be crazy." Thanks Miss H. I'll never forget that one. Edit. Easier to respond here I guess. Yes, she was 30-something but def not trying to Mrs. Robinson me. Thinking back it was a nice thing to say, but at 17 it hit pretty hard. We were friends because she led the FFA chapter I was part of, so we spent a lot of time together outside school. Similar happened to me. I was told by male relatives, "You're the kind of girl boys want to marry, not have sex with, thanks Tio." When I proposed to my wife she said, "I guess I can't say no," but she meant to say, "How can I say no?" She also had a panic attack the first time we kissed. When I proposed to my wife she said, "I guess I can't say no, were you on a boat?" Working at a new job. How old are you? How old do I look? I don't know, 45? I was 27 at the time. At least she saved you the pain of eventually divorcing you. My sister-in-law said this to me 1 week after my wife was buried. That's not even just an insult, that's just fucking cruel. I'm sorry about your wife. Coworker. What do you drive? Me. A Jetta. Coworker. Yeah, you look like you drive a Jetta. Had to get some blood drawn and the nurse was training one of her coworkers. One of them said to the other his skin is like leather, hurt more than the needle. Edit. This blew up. Extra info. Normally this kind of statement wouldn't faze me and I'd have some snarky response. I just happened to be a bit vulnerable and it landed just right. Someone saying yo check out how weird this person's body part looks to someone else has gotta be a universal dick move. After I asked out a coworker, she said, "I only said yes because I thought it was so brave of you to ask. Fuck you. To the moon." I promise someday you'll be pretty said by my mom to a 10-year-old me who was upset about something completely unrelated and who had never even considered until that exact moment that I wasn't pretty. 25 plus years later and it still lives rent-free in my mind. Edit 2. So many sad people in this thread. I hope everyone here is having a wonderful day and hitting lots of green lights. Edit 3. I've never had a comment blow up like this before. I'm so overwhelmed.